these, but I will hit some of the main ones. First one, your sartorius. This is a really long, skinny muscle, and it goes across your thigh. So it starts over here on the lateral side, and it drags downward across your thigh by your knee. It's number 24 on this model. So it's just this long, skinny muscle, number 24 on here, that goes across your thigh. Your tensor fasciae latae, or latia. I always call it the coffee muscle. If you look at the lateral part of your thigh, it's number 18 right here. It's this really large, bulged out muscle. You'll notice that there's a lot of connective tissue coming downward from that muscle. That connective tissue has an actual name. It's called your IT band, or your iliotibial tract. But the muscle itself is located more so up here by your hip. So that's number 18 on here. And getting to your quads. So your first quad muscle is your rectus femoris. And that is dead center on your thigh. The tendon actually goes downward onto your patella. So your rectus femoris is dead center. And you can use the rectus femoris as a landmark for your other quad muscles. One muscle going lateral off to the side, that's your vastus lateralis. One muscle going medial, that's your vastus medialis. So they're just named in their relative position to the rectus femoris. Your fourth quad muscle isn't on the checklist, but if you're curious, if you peel back your rectus femoris, there's a muscle under here that isn't really shown that well. It's called your vastus intermedius. And that would be your fourth quad muscle. All right. We'll do gracilis, and then we'll skip down to the bottom row here. So the gracilis is a really long, skinny muscle, kind of like the sartorius, except rather than running across your thigh like this, it stays more on the inseam. So it'd be a really long, skinny muscle on your inseam. And I don't think we have really any good models that show that, because this looks more like an adductor to me. We'll skip down to this bottom row, starting at gastrocnemius, because I want to give you guys more time for pre-study. So your gastrocnemius is just another name for your calf muscles. The word gastro is referring to a belly or a stomach. And you'll see that your calf muscles have two bellies to them. So the gastrocnemius is your calf muscle. If you were to peel off the gastrocnemius, there we go. Just didn't want to break it. That memo was. All right. So your gastrocnemius, just deep to that is your soleus. So it's this flat muscle right beneath your calves. And the word soleus literally means flat fish. So evidently whoever looked at it was like, oh, it looks like a fish. So now together your gastrocnemius and your soleus come to form a tendon together. This is called your calcaneal tendon. I would also accept Achilles tendon for it on a lab practical. I do know that a lot of the allied health programs, they're trying to steer away from like Achilles tendon, sphincter of Oddi, things that are named after the people who discovered them. They're trying to steer towards their actual anatomical names. So rather than Achilles tendon, they would want you to say calcaneal. rather than sphincter of Oddi, they'd want you to say hepatopancreatic sphincter. It might sound like a big word right now, but when you take A&P 2 and learn the anatomy, it makes a lot of sense. All right, so that's just a brief intro to muscle anatomy. Again, this checklist is also very brief. Anything that you have to label in your lab manuals is fair game for that last practical, but I think this gives you a nice starting ground to go off of. So, with that, the rest, yeah, cross off the fills.